and welcome to Two Girls and a Cat. This is our first podcast.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Sam, and we are talking about Civil War. We've just seen it for the second time, and it was pretty much as spectacular as the first time.
Yeah, it's better than we thought. 3D.
Apart from 3D.
Yeah, 3D was pretty amazing, so go and see it in 3D if you get the chance to.
But go and see it the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're kind of tired.
Yeah, we're really tired. That's an eye attack that you don't want to see in your first time.
Yeah.
Now, the channel is called Two Girls and a Cat, and we actually have Portia right here.
She's attacking you at the moment.
She is. Oh, little girl. Right, so we're going to get straight into it. We're going to get straight into the plot and what we liked and what we didn't like. So, let's get started. So, it is Civil War. It's very different from the comics. It fits straight into the MCU universe, and the focus is it the Sokovian Accords?
Yes.
The Sokovia Accords.
Yes.
Which is the same as the SRA or something along those lines in the comic book that they had to sign, which made superheroes accountable for their actions. It's the same.
It's registration.
It is, yes, registration, and it's the Avengers have been pulled into a meeting with General Ross.
Yeah.
Yes.
Secretary
Secretary
of State.
of State, who returned. The last time he was in a Marvel film was Hulk.
And you just immediately dislike him, really, don't you?
Oh yeah, not a very nice person.
Yeah, yeah.
He sort of punched his face. So
Yeah.
especially talking about the heart attack.
Yeah, you're like, whatever.
Did you not just die?
You could have.
Oh, that sounds horrible. So yes, the Avengers they're going to be held accountable for their actions, and you've got one side, you've got Tony Stark, who totally agrees with it, wants to get on board with it, and then you've got Captain America, who feels that if he is pushed in one way, he may not be able to go the other way, and lives will be lost. Then you've got these Avenger crew who part sides.
Yeah. There's a bit of a double agent.
Yeah.
Well, in a nice way though, not in a bad way.
You can tell they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You can have a bit like when you see
It's like, do we have to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely
not.
Black Widow
Yeah.
is the perfect example. She's
the conscience, isn't she?
which
She's like,
you wouldn't think from Romanoff. She's an assassin. Like she shouldn't really have a conscience,
yeah,
but
background.
she portrayed it really well. And then you've got there's kind of like two stories in there because we've got the the Civil War side of things, which is the Registration Act, and then you've got Winter Soldier, and his involvement that with. See, this is where I just feel like I'm going to go blah 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 because it's hard to explain because it is two stories in one film, but it's not overwhelming. It doesn't hurt.
You don't feel like you're being battered with detail about one more than the other.
Yeah. So the way that I saw it was that you picked up. I was trying to think about this in the pictures when we were watching it. I was like, you pick up from Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Like Ant-Man's separate. It's a separate
That's
origin.
happened.
That's happening.
Yeah.
That timeline is happening as we are in this film, and we're in Civil War. So I think it picks up from Age of Ultron, and it is a complete and utter like we are sorry for Age of Ultron film. I have actually heard somebody say that, and I thought yes, it is.
Did you like Age of Ultron?
I loved Age of Ultron, but it was Black Widow was ruined for us, really ruined.
Do you think they made her like silly girl in love with the Hulk?
Yes. Like, little girl, pat on the head. It really did feel like that. Whereas the Russos, from when she was in Winter Soldier,
it's mature, isn't it?
she was pitch perfect. I felt the relationship she had with Steve in Winter Soldier
is back.
It's the same. You didn't feel that in Age of Ultron. You didn't even think they were friends.
Yeah, she's got this massive loyalty towards him, hasn't
she?
She's massive loyalty towards him.
And that was proven at the end with the career where she stops Black Panther, who we will get into in a minute. Oh, that was amazing.
We like him a lot.
We do. So we've got the Accords, you've got the Winter Soldier story where you've got Baron Zemo. Now I don't think his name was Baron Zemo, I think it was Helmut Zemo. But it is Baron Zemo from the comic.
Yeah.
Please tell us if I'm wrong.
No, I think
I think I'm right.
No, I think it was.
But he is a victim of Sokovia. He lost everything, And he knows he can't destroy the Avengers. He gets that. So why don't you get the Avengers to destroy each other?
Themselves, yeah.
And you use the Winter Soldier as a catalyst to that.
Mhm.
And that's how it, it's a story of divide, but it's also a story of betrayal.
Yeah.
There was a massive, massive betrayal at the end.
Oh yeah. I felt
it was
like,
it was gut wrenching.
if you've got no empathy for that, then there's something wrong with you.
No, definitely. And then new characters into an Avenger film. Now I know Ant-Man's not a new character,
but he will be in New Avengers.
But
intro.
In an Avenger, because did you feel it was an Avenger film, or did you just think it was a Captain America film?
I felt it was more Avengers. And I think reason for that is because when you see the divide, especially towards the end of the film, where there's that big head off between the two sides.
Yeah.
The line-up was the cinematography is brilliant.
Oh, like goosebumps.
It's just like, they see them run at each other, and it's amazing.
And Scarlet Witch just taken off. That was fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that's what I think it's just because you've got the new characters coming in. Obviously, they're bringing Ant-Man into that. Spider-Man. Let's talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Spider-Man.
Black Panther.
Oh, God, that was so good. That voice, do you know what? Just put him on a recorder on a night time and I'll go
like chocolate.
Oh, it's so lovely. But so you've got Ant-Man. He joined Cap's crew.
Yeah.
Who turned into Giant Man.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not even ashamed to say that I nearly rolled a tear. I almost rolled a tear.
He's just like in Ant-Man. He's funny.
Yeah.
You'll immediately just love him, don't you?
There was so much humour, but not so much, but it wasn't as.
Yeah.
It was meant to be a serious film. This is about two friends who they've had their differences. In the first Avengers they hated each other.
Mm-hmm.
They were ready to go
full out.
Exactly. But in this you could see they had a relationship. Like Tony,
it hurt them.
Every word he said when he was trying to get Cap to sign that was genuine. It was like,
please.
He sounded like he was going to cry.
Yeah.
He was that desperate for him to sign it because he just wanted.
Because they're family.
Uh-huh.
You can feel that it's a family bond now.
You can tell that the time between Avengers up to now, there's been a connection. You can
Which
feel
is
it.
interesting at the end. Spoiler. When you
hear I think you might gather from the beginning. If we didn't say it, spoiler.
Throughout this.
Yeah.
That Cap says in that letter that he writes to him that they are more your family than mine.
Yeah.
Basically you need them more than I do.
Yeah. I don't like the idea that you're roaming around that mansion on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks, because Tony does, he
now
needs...
He's no Pepper.
No Pepper, no Pepper. Pepper's gone. Him and Pepper have separated, which...
Kind of secretly pleased about that.
Boo-hoo, get Gwyneth Paltrow out of the MCU is what I'd say. But, no, it was hard. There was heartbreaking moments.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a team, they are family.
Yeah.
They do rely, like, even Natasha, Peggy's funeral, how could we forget about that? See, there was so much going on, but again, we all going, oh yeah, and Black Panther, and oh yeah, and Peggy.
There's a lot of explaining goes on about things that you kind of thought, what's happening with that? Like, where does it go with Sharon Carter, and where does it go with Peggy? What happens to her, and kind of where does Tony Stark's parents? That gets explained.
Yeah.
I think you feel for Tony Stark more in this film than any of the other ones.
So here's a question: whose side? Knowing you've seen the film, who would you pick?
See, I love Iron Man. I totally love.
Total T and Iron Man over there.
I'm totally in love with Tony Stark, has to be said. But I can totally understand why Cap's doing what he's doing. I think he is doing the right thing. But then you kind of really think, I'm not very happy with you because of what happens with the Starks.
Yeah, at the end,
which we'll explain.
Yeah, throughout the whole film, you've got it's basically two arguments. Like, you've got Cap's side of things, and then you've got Tony's side. The rest of them, they just fit in where they want to.
Yeah.
But with Cap, you've got him saying that basically I don't like the idea of being told to go somewhere, and then something else is going to happen, and I'm not going to be there to save the day. I need to be where I need to be.
Yeah.
And you've got Tony saying, well, we need to be kept in check. Like, cause
this can't happen again.
Yeah, Tony wants everyone to be accountable, because he's the one who got the backlash off the parent. Nobody got the backlash off that parent. That parent came to Tony and poured her grief on, and it's exactly
it was like, this is on you.
It's what happens in the comic. A woman, Tony goes to the funeral of, because in the comic it's obviously very different. The whole Civil War has started through these teenage heroes. I can't for the life just remember the name. The teenage heroes who blow up a city basically. It just goes all to hell. A lot of people get killed, and Tony goes to the funeral of one of these people who gets killed, and the mother just
rips into him,
ape shit on him.
Yeah.
She's like, you need to be kept in check. You need to be read, and it's in the comic. It is very strict. Like, these get identifications. It's not, they've got to out themselves. This is where, like, the whole Peter Parker, where he comes out, which is never
in that. Yeah,
it's never going to work in the MCU because it's its own universe. It is completely separate. So when people were going, oh, well, Spider-Man's going to be in this film, but how's it going to do it? And I was probably one of them as well. Like, how are you going to have Spider-Man come into this film with this name? But you do how they did it. This is Spider-Man.
Tony needs him.
He's a young kid.
Yeah.
Did you notice how they cut off his origin? He was just about to explain how he got the spider bite.
Yeah.
And he went, oh, you don't even know about that.
It's a long story.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Sorry, totally off track, but I was probably one of them who sat there and went, right, well, if Spider-Man's coming into this film, why, the main thing in Civil War, were a lot of main things, but one of them was Peter Parker came out and said, I'm Peter Parker, I've been Spider-Man the whole time. That was a massive impact.
Yeah.
Glad they didn't go down that route.
No.
Glad they didn't go down. They couldn't. How could you have this 15-year-old who's just like, right, well, yeah, I've had these powers for 6 months, but guess what, guys? I'm Spider-Man.
I mean, let's talk about that for a second. So, he comes in to Civil War because Tony feels outnumbered.
Yeah, that's
and he thinks we need recruits.
I know.
I've got an idea.
Yeah, he kept an eye on him. I tell you what, why don't we go through characters?
Yeah.
Why don't we start going just a quick go through the characters, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
So we start with Captain America.
Hero.
What do I say? What can I say?
Sam's hero.
I am actually sitting wearing a Captain America jumper with my Captain America bag.
Just there.
I'm not even joking. It is just near us. Cap he's never changed rhythm from day one.
Yeah.
We've
got that loyalty still towards Bucky, hasn't he? He's like number one concern.
Yeah. Because like, that's his.
Yeah.
When he said at the end, the Avengers are your family. And I think he generally means that because Bucky's his family.
Yeah.
And that's who he's got to protect. He's loyal. He's a soldier. He's always going to have that in his head.
And did you feel from when Peggy died?
Yeah. Because he lost the last bit of him.
His history.
Bear in
origin.
mind, when Peggy died, he didn't know Bucky was. He obviously knows Bucky's alive, but he thinks Bucky's still Winter Soldier. He thinks he's still in Hydra's. He doesn't know.
The last of his good memories.
Exactly.
Sort of thing,
she's gone. I felt heartbroken when Peggy died. Yeah. But he's never changed rhythm. Like, he's never stepped outside of who he is. Yeah. That's why I love him. I watched the 75 years of Captain America, and it was perfect how they used him in comic history, used him as a symbol of hope. Every time an issue of, like, back in the, Captain America's, there's been so many over the last few years. Steve Rogers isn't even Captain America anymore, but back in the day, like in World War II, the most iconic picture of Captain America is hitting Hitler. They put him in he is my little beacon of hope. I love him, absolutely love him.
Well, I suppose that's the whole sort of side of Civil War, is that his point of view is, you've got to have hope.
Yeah.
For what we do, because if you don't and you tie us down, where does that go?
Yeah.
So So yeah, that's him. So him.
And then we've got Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
Who was Robert Downey Jr. just blows it out of the water when it comes. He's absolutely pitch perfect throughout the whole thing. He was very emotional.
You see the vulnerable side of Tony Stark, don't you?
With Tony, Pepper's left him.
Yeah. He's clearly thinking about his parents a lot and about where his life is going and what's for him personally. He gives that money away to the kids at the university.
But he's always had that thing about his dad. He's always had that thing. Could never
make him happy.
Yeah. But he knew that he got that. Was it Iron Man 2? He got the message of his dad where it's like, Tony, you've got to be this, that, and the other. And at the end, where it's like a little break, and it's just at the end, he's like, Tony, I absolutely love you. Like, I know you're going to do great things. And it was just everything he wanted to hear from his dad. Yeah. And I think I think he processed his grief. Mm-hmm. I think he managed to, when he's showing that simulation, he even says, like, I didn't process it the right way. I think he finally did. Mm-hmm. And then at the end,
it just knocked it out of all
everything he'd worked to get to that point was just gone in a second.
Especially when it's like, because basically, like, someone who I think is family to me has betrayed me.
Yeah, exactly. The betrayal we're talking about is, it's revealed that it's the Winter Soldier was the person who killed his parents, who orchestrated it, who killed them, and Captain America knew. And it broke his heart.
Well, you could see it was like, it's one thing, Bucky did it. Yeah. He could deal with that, but it was like, okay, he's done that, I'm really angry. Did you know about this?
That's the first thing he asked, isn't it?
The first thing he said. You could see his face was just like full of emotions, filled up, wasn't he?
Yeah, his eyes were glassy.
And he knew the answer. He knew the answer before he asked the question, didn't he? And it was like, please don't tell me.
Just say no. Just say no to us, but no. Cap, as always, just told the truth and said, yes, I knew. It was.
And he redeems himself at the end by apologising and saying he ever needed me.
You can see it in Tony's face. It's like, yeah, we're going to get through this.
Yeah.
I don't know about Bucky. I really don't know about Bucky, but me and you, we're going to get through this. Yeah. That's just reading that letter and just how he read it, because he could have quite easily scrumpled that up,
threw that in the bin.
Threw it in the bin.
Yeah.
But he didn't. I think he wants to make it work.
Yeah.
He's going to have to. He was to go. He's going to need his cat. Yeah.
We've done the two main
ones. So we'll go Team Iron Man.
Yeah.
We've got War Machine. Mm-hmm. Voice of reason, really, wasn't he? He was the voice of reason.
Yeah.
We've got War Machine. You got Black Widow, who Russo brothers just do so perfectly.
She's so good, and her fight scenes are amazing.
Oh, absolutely incredible.
Absolutely brilliant.
She's got no fear whatsoever. We've got God, who else is on their side? Well, Spider-Man. Spider-Man joined the team, and he didn't really need much convincing, did he? He was just told, he thinks he's right, he's not, he's wrong. Yeah. Go for the legs.
Oh, I'll tell you what we haven't mentioned as well, who's on Team Iron Man. Vision.
Oh my God.
How he's being humanised.
Yeah.
Isn't he? The signs of him starting to...
And that whole, what he said, the Scarlet Witch just... I wanted to jump out my chair and go, just get married now! Just marry her now! He turns around because Scarlet Witch is the main reason this accord has come about, this registration. She sent crossbones into a building that she didn't realise was populated. It was a mistake, but he was about to blow himself up. What would have been worse? What would have been worse? On the ground, up there. It was still going to kill people, but she sent him up a height and she sent him into a building and he blew up in the building. And that's where the Registration Act comes from. It wasn't just her actions. It was
everybody.
It was from New York right up to when she did that. But the blame I felt when Ross was talking was basically, this is your doing.
This incident's the triggers.
Yeah. And Tony keeps her captive basically in Avengers headquarters with Vision as company, and he turns around and she tries to go out and he says to her, it's for protection, and she says, whom you're protecting? And he was like, I want them to see you as I see you. And I was like, oh my God.
He totally thinks so.
Oh, he does. And they do get married eventually.
Very good.
But he was very humanised. His eyes, I don't know if Paul Bettany's put weight on, but he looked
better.
Fuller.
He looked better.
When he first came in Age of Ultron, he was slimlined.
Yeah.
He was exactly how a model would look. Now you can see his cheeks and I liked it. Yeah. I liked how Vision looked, and I love his clothes. Just wearing clothes, that was adorable. And who else was on team? Was that it? The Team Cap? The Team Iron Man.
Black Panther.
How could we forget?
How can we
the King of Wakanda. Well, he is now the King of Wakanda. We met, well...
Dad came to an end,
T'Challa, which I think I might have punched Carolyn when he came on the screen. When I saw his name on the screen, I was like, oh my god, bang! Yes, with T'Challa, you get when they go to sign the events of Scarlet Witch was in Wakanda or Nigeria. It affected the Wakandans because they got involved. Yeah. They wanted the Accord signing, and they go to, I don't even know where they go to, but they go to somewhere to have, as a meeting, all the world leaders, a conference, all the world leaders are going to gather to sign this Accord. Black Widow represents the Avengers. Yeah. And you meet T'Challa, and he's representing Wakanda, the King of Wakanda, and the building, boom, blows up. And Winter Soldier gets accused, well, not accused, he is flat out, you know.
And he is at the end, isn't he? He's the symbol of don't hold a grudge.
He was so perfect, wasn't he? Yeah. Absolutely perfect. Then you've got, so is that T'Challa? Oh, I can never remember Black Panther's name. No, is T'Challa Black? Have you your phone?
Yeah.
Find out Black Panther's name?
You don't know.
Yeah, but I'm going to look like a right dick. I have just wrote a review for Black Panther issue 1 for all you all there. And I can't even remember the dude's name, but Black Panther was... the best thing about it is, we don't know at that point if he is Black Panther now. But the Black Panther is a ceremonial thing that is passed down. So T'Challa is Black Panther. So it's T'Challa, or... I can't remember what he's... We'll just call him Daddy Panther for now. But it's a thing that Black Panther is a symbolized thing that is passed down to the next king. So I don't know if he's already got his suit before it or afterwards. We're probably going to find that out in Black Panther's own film, which I think maybe next year. Yeah. But that suit was beautiful. Chakaka, right. I'm not even going to try and edit that part out. I'll just leave my dickery in there. But yeah,
we like him. We like him a lot.
His voice was like...
Costume amazing.
Yeah, costume was spot on. His attitude, because he was after Bucky, wasn't he? Bucky was
like you know.
Did you not find it funny how he was there to sign an accord to say that these people have to be kept in check? Yes, the minute somebody kills his dad, he's like, right, well, you're dead.
All bets are off.
Yeah, you're dead. I'm just going to do this now. No one's going to stop this. I'm just going to go and kill.
I've got one mission.
Yeah.
I'm on my own mission here.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not going to be held accountable. I'm just going to go and do it. So yeah, he goes off to have his little vengeance. He wants blood, basically. He wants Winter Soldier's blood. And he's so driven by it until the end, where they're in this base that Bucky was held for years, and you find out that there's more Winter Soldiers.
Yes.
And I
kind of thought we were going to go down a route there, because obviously it ends up where Helmet just kills them.
You could have released them to the world.
You could have at least unleashed them for a little bit, let them have a bit of sport, and then just finish them off. I kind of wanted to see that a little bit, and I was like, so you've just killed them in their sleep.
You did.
That's the end of that then. I don't know, that was one thing I didn't like about it. You've
introduced these. No, you're right, because they made a point of Tony Stark's dad having the super soldier serum. I'm guessing that's what them blue packets were, because not long after that, these guys were put with super soldier serum, which what Bucky's got, which what Cap's got. This was the age process. And they basically, you get to see them in a tank. 1 minute they're there, next minute they've got a bullet in them. That's it. That's all you get to see of these super soldiers, who are other Winter Soldiers. Yeah, I get what you mean. I didn't.
It's not that. But then Team Cap, Team Cap. So.
Oh yes, right. So yeah, Team Cap. We've got Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I think you saw more of a mature side to her this time around. Obviously, she's kind of like put in a box a little bit, isn't she? She's kind of sent to her room, as she calls it. And then at the end,
the minute she unleashes, like,
no, I'm not having this.
Yeah. The minute, well, Clint Barton, Hawkeye's back. He comes back. He actually retires. He comes back, and he does another. He's got such a thing with her because he did it in Age of Ultron, didn't he? Where he sat there and he goes, "Listen, whatever you've done, it doesn't matter. The minute you get out there, you're an Avenger." And he did the same thing on this one. He was like, "Listen, you can either sit on your ass or you can get up and do something."
Yeah. He's like conscience.
But for her, nobody else would listen to Barton like that.
No.
Because it's Barton. He's fucking Hawkeye. Like, he's not like, he's really good at looking. And he's so funny. Like, when Tony says he's been playing golf and he was like, yeah, played 18 rounds.
I just see what I like though.
Put in 18 rounds.
He was like, hey Clint, hey man. Like, we're just about to fight each other, but are you okay?
And then he's saying to Black Widow, are we still friends? And he's like, it depends on how much you... But did you see Scarlet Witch come in there? And it's like, you're holding your punches.
Like,
wait, come on. What did you tell me? Yeah. So you've got Clint back, Scarlet Witch, Ant-Man. Paul Rudd returning as Ant-Man, who then becomes Giant Man.
We just love him.
Oh, I love him.
And when he goes inside of Tony's suit...
I am your conscience.
And I am your conscience.
I am your conscience.
But isn't that just a recurring theme?
What's that?
Oh, there's always, like, every character, there's somebody else who is their conscience. Isn't it? It's quite...
But isn't that how they work with the team?
Yeah.
That's why they need each other.
Pull each other in.
I mean, nobody knows who Ant-Man is. He is so new, and his suit looks different. Now, I mentioned it, I was talking about this earlier, the timeline from Ant-Man to now, it seems like the first part, that's when Ant-Man was happening. That's when he was becoming Ant-Man, because then at the middle, when you've got Cap with Winter Soldier and he's got his arm in the vice and he's doing the whole your mom's in Sarah, that's at the end of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So he obviously looks like he's got a bit more advanced because his suit looked different.
Yeah.
The helmet looked different.
Yeah.
So there must be some changes, but we've got Ant-Man and Wasp film coming out, so that could slot into there, or it could slot in afterwards. But yeah, and nobody knows who he is. Tony, even when, because the Team Cap gets locked up for their actions of
siding into the middle of the sea on the floating prison.
Yeah, and Tony goes up to him and he does that, Hank Pym always told me never trust the Stark, and he's like, who are you? Oh, come on.
Like, no one knows who I am yet.
Gosh. So you got Ant-Man and Scarlet Witch, Clint, Falcon. How on earth can we forget Sam Wilson? Because he is amazing.
He's so good.
Anthony Mackie is incredible as that character. Yeah. The beacon that he uses, his little eagle thing, that Red Wing. Red Wing is actually eagle in the comic, and he's his little sidekick.
Yeah.
And I actually was looking at it, as I do most days, watching lists, and I was watching this Captain America fact list, and I didn't know that Sam Wilson is the first superhero who didn't get given a name that had black in it.
Right.
So, you got Black Panther. He was Falcon. He was the first black character who didn't have black in his name.
Well, yeah.
Fun fact. The more you know.
And I like the interaction between him and Bucky.
That was so funny.
That was pretty good. It's like, I hate you.
Did you see when they were running together?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but to me that was like, oh my god, these guys, they're actually
good together.
I would watch them
just together.
They were perfect. And when bloody Cap kissed Sharon Carter, which was what? It was the most awkward.
It was awkward. I'm sorry.
It was like, shall we do this now?
We're meant to be with her, and she is very old and now dead, and you are.
You're trying to bang our niece, man.
Stop trying to bang our niece. Exactly. Like, it's wrong. You're like 100.
He is 100?
Literally, you are 100, and stop. Just don't. Just stop.
Oh.
But so yeah, we didn't
It was awkward.
We don't get totally on board with the whole Cap and Sharon Carter thing.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, just keep talking.
But yeah, I mean, it's well with Falcon when you see War Machine go down. That's like the point of, okay, one of us really got hurt now.
Well, that was the
point. Bring us back, don't you? And it's like,
yeah, in the comic, there's a character called Goliath, and he dies. He is the catalyst that Steve Rogers uses, and it's like, I can't remember if it was Steve or it was Tony who were like, oh holy shit, someone actually died.
This has gone too far.
And no, at the end of Civil War, Steve Rogers allows himself to be arrested. He like holds his hands up and goes, what are we even doing? Why are we even fighting this anymore? We're just literally fighting ourselves, and Goliath had to pay the price for it. So I'm guessing War Machine was the price.
Yeah.
But it still didn't. It didn't stop them fighting because Steve still had an agenda with Bucky. Yeah. So that's where the two stories. That's how I thought it was quite perfect. Yeah, I thought it was perfect that it didn't. It may hold the name Civil War, and it may have very aspects of it, but it didn't directly steer on the path of Civil War, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And it couldn't, and somebody pointed this out to us on Facebook, you can't just do the Civil War story in the MCU, it'll never make sense.
Yeah.
It has to fit in, because when I first saw the trailers, I thought Bucky was going to be the reason the Registration Act came out for.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it would be the Avengers.
Yeah, that whole incident.
Yeah, I always thought it was going to be Bucky would be the person who well, this is the reason we have to do this because of him. I didn't realise.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's how I thought it was going to play out. And then you do have the Winter Soldier on Team Cap, who was Sebastian Stan, just beautiful. Absolutely, that face is just beautiful. But there was Bucky, and then there was the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And the Winter Soldier wasn't in it very that side of him wasn't in it very often, and you got to see how he became, like, them words.
How he is.
How random them words were when it was his trigger.
Because at first, like, why are they saying those words? Then you realise it's like...
And he goes, I am compliant. I'm ready to be compliant, soldier.
Yeah.
And I like that. But then he was trying to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, that's what he said, wasn't it? He said, it's in me. Mm-hmm. Can't get rid of it. It's there.
So at the end of the film, because there is 2 credit scenes, which Carolyn almost walked out on.
The second one, I was like, okay, time to go. Oh no, the second one.
The first one is we're in Wakanda. We are in the jungle of Wakanda, which looks beautiful.
Yeah. And
Black Panther is actually helping them out. He's realised that, some people just need help. Like, you're never going to be able to forgive him for what he did. But you've got to realise where it came from.
Yeah.
And Bucky's being put back on the ice again until they can figure out. And Wakanda is an advanced nation in Africa. Their technology is far surpasses anything that we have, and it's the best place for them.
Yeah.
And you get to see the beautiful Wakanda.
And the whole Panther thing.
The big Black Panther statue, and I can't wait to get into that world. I want to say 2018 or 17. But
so that, and then you see the Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man gets his new little gadget, doesn't he? Because Tony goes to 2 Queens, and he
meets Aunt May, who he really likes.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah,
Marissa Tomei was hot. Yeah.
Come on.
But he goes to Spider-Man's house, and he basically recruits him. He does, and he the whole thing with the eyes. I remember when the trailer came out, and his eyes moved very funny.
They
moved very funny on the I remember Ant was saying that looks terrible. It explained it. Why though? Because he has to use goggles because his vision's so enhanced. He struggles to focus.
Yeah.
So these obviously were helping him focus because it was when he was looking at somebody.
Yeah.
And when he was moving around, they were just normal size. It was to help him focus. I thought that was explained.
Yeah.
Beautifully, perfectly. So let's wrap this up. What's your final thought?
Loved it. Can't wait. The next one.
What is the next one? Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor
Going to be
Strange.
so
Is that July?
interesting. No, November. We don't have another Marvel film now till November. Next comic book film is...
Well...
Is it?
X-Men? Yeah.
X-Men? Yeah, that's interesting.
We'll
do something for that. Yeah. This one's kind of been all over the place. It's our first attempt at a podcast.
We're going to do a Game of Thrones one.
We are, and hopefully we'll get a bit more structure to it, but we are literally just coming off the back of seeing this.
This is off the cuff.
Yeah, I'd be very shocked if you wouldn't, like, an hour ago just getting, oh my god, that was fucking incredible, because that's all I could say. Like, even second time, the first time, it was like, what the hell have I just watched? That was... Yeah. The Russos just, they know what they're doing.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good.
They're going to be in charge of Infinity Wars, which is going to be broken into two parts. You're going to have Star-Lord brought into the action. We're going to, it's going to be absolutely incredible. And
Guys of the Galaxy's like my jam. I just love it. Yeah. That's my favourite.
I do like that.
Marvel thing.
To have the Russo brothers, have it in their hands and not... I've got nothing against Joss Whedon, what he did for Age of Ultron. I'm not saying it was a bad film. I just thought for somebody who was very good at writing female characters, look at Buffy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think he diminished.
He dumbed that down, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Quite a bit, and it was a lot for us to say, no, you need to move on a bit. Because the first Avengers, he didn't do that. Yeah. She was just as badass as the rest of them.
I mean, even after Age of Ultron came out, there was a lot of chat that, Disney weren't marketing Black Widow in the right way. There was no merchandise.
There wasn't.
And now, there's a lot more stuff. Yeah. There's a lot more.
Yeah, they've kind of made up for it with the likes of Star Wars. Rey is a massive, you can buy her anywhere. But in Age of Ultron, you could get Cap, you could get Iron Man, you could get Hulk, Thor. But if you wanted to get Black Widow, just go and sing for it. And at the time, I was actually reading Marvel's 2010 run of Black Widow and Margaret Stoll's Black Widow book, and I was from what I was reading to what I was seeing, it was annoying, really annoying.
She deserves more.
She deserves so much more. You've got to think, she's been in these films from Iron Man 2. Yeah. This character deserves so much better than what she got in that film. And the Russo brothers, I hated her. When she first came out, I absolutely hated the idea of Natasha Romanoff being in an Avenger film. Yeah. But when the Russo brothers got their hands on her, and they did Winter Soldier, and the relationship they built with Cap, and the fact that she's still like, she built this relationship, but she's still a lone star. Like, she went off on her own. She knew she had to go. That's what she does. They brought that back in this one. Yeah. So I feel that this one was a victory for Age of Ultron. Yeah. Here she is.
This is what she should have been.
Yes, this is her. And we're going to make Scarlet Witch even better, because I thought Elizabeth...
Sorry about that a little bit too.
Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen was absolutely brilliant in that film. Yeah. So yes, we're going to end it. We're going to end it now, because we've got, it's like 9:45, and Game of Thrones is... We're going to watch episode 2 of Game of Thrones. So for the next one, we're going to do episode 1 and 2 of Game of Thrones. Yeah. Only because we've seen episode 2. My idea was just doing episode 1 and then the last one. Yeah. So we had a bit of a chunk to talk about. Yeah. So we can do that. We're also going to be doing more on films and
anything
TV and general chit chat. We could just sit and have a chit chat.
Talk shit.
We're literally sitting on the floor just talking shit. That's what we do. We just sit and talk shit. We'll even do. You'll get to know us a bit better, because we've just literally inflicted you with Civil War movie stuff.
Nerd chat.
Yeah. You know nothing about us. Why would you be interested in listening to us? But we are really interested.
So there's a lot more to come, is what we're saying.
Basically, that's what we're saying. So we're going to end it there. Thank you very much for listening. We need a sign off, so in the comments give us some suggestions, because I was thinking about this the other day. We don't have a sign off, like,
it's a bit like Two Ronnies, isn't it? Like,
what does it say?
Good night from you.
Good night from you. That sounds really cheesy though. That's
80s class.
80s English class. Because we can't just go. Because I watch a YouTube channel called Up Up Down Down, and he always ends up with keep it tight. Can't steal that one, can we? Because he actually merchandised that on his t-shirt, so can't do that one.
I would say good night from Portia, but she just
the cat.
She just doesn't care.
Yeah, she was here, and then imagine on the audio we're going to hear her going past the mic.
Hear her moving around the area. She's on patrol at the moment, so
yeah. So I think it's been fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
So we're going to do it again. So
keep tuned and
keep listening.
And remember, give us a sign out. We really need one. So thanks for now.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.